we're joined by Baylor head coach Dave Aranda, as well as linebacker Terrell Bernard and running back Abram Smith. Coach, we'd like you to begin with a brief opening statement, if you would, please.
You know, just got done talking with the team and just so humbled by our team. You know, the two young men just here to my left are great. Is representative of the best of us. You know, I look at just all of the change that has happened with Baylor football. You know, I think if you take a broad enough view, you see a bunch of wins, you know, from year to year, with maybe not so many wins in between, but you can see the wins. But I think the closer you get, you just see so many names and faces and come and go. You see just change, and you see, you know, people demanding, you know, beliefs and you know, motivating people different ways. And then you see you know, coaches that believe in this type of authority, or, you know, maybe do what I say, not what I do, or maybe there's an old school element to it, and just all these things that are just you know, difficult to address and difficult to talk about when you don't win games. And so I think for us, the change from last year to this year was really kind of breaking all of that down and earning trust and believing in each other and being selfless. And you know, I think when you get to that, you get to a team. And you know, this was a great team win. We've had some team wins throughout the year, and so appreciative of the team. I'm a better person for it, you know, and so I'm proud, man. I'm a little saddened because I know that it's you know, this part is over, but I'm humbled and I'm appreciative.
Our first question will come from Eric Kelly at KWKT in Waco.
Coach, just when those final seconds are ticking down and you guys kind of realize that you guys are going to become Sugar Bowl champs, do you allow yourself to take it in, and what's going through your head?
I appreciate the question. I mean, not really. I was wondering, you know, no one had talked. I didn't know what the ceremony was going to be, and so I was wondering if there's, you know, something I had to say or do, and so I was figuring, I was hoping that I wasn't going to make a fool of myself during that time. So I was kind of thinking that.
We'll move on to Matt Mosley of ESPN Central Texas.
Yeah, Dave, I just wonder how you feel like Gary played. Obviously, the passing game wasn't really there. He leaned on the run game, but Gary, having been out all this time, what did you think about his approach and how he kind of hung in there in this game?
No, I appreciate that. I thought Gary, you know, one of his strongest suits as a person is his resilience and his confidence and his belief in others. And so I think, you know, you saw all of that in this game. You saw, you know, in the weeks leading up to this game, you just saw just great excitement and great energy. And you know, when you're in it and then you're out of it, to have a chance to come back in it in a game like this just means everything. And so you could see the joy in him. And then I know, you know, when the game started and it was difficult to throw, you know, forward passes and all that and complete them, more specifically, it, you know, you could tell that he was challenged, but found ways to, when stuff was covered up, to run the ball, was encouraging his teammates, was carrying out his fakes with full speed so that we could buy a half a second so a running back could make a cut, you know, 4 yards down the line, back inside. And so just all the things that you would expect out of him. But you think about the journey that, you know, that dude has been through. And so it just, the best is yet to come with him, because all this adversity that he goes through just makes him stronger. And he was strong for us at the end.
Next up, we'll have Matt Lively of KCEN in Temple.
Dick, congratulations on the win. What went through your head on that corral go down?
Well, yeah, I meant to ask to see the extent of the injury. Was immediately thinking of how that would impact the remaining offensive attack, and so was it going to be more, or less tempo, more kind of check with me plays? Was it going to be more leaning on the run game? Was it going to be more, tight end in the core, 3 receivers out, and throw it up? And I think there was some of all that, in the plays that followed. And so you have an idea of those things, but you never really know. I think a lot of times the temperature of the game that you're in kind of tilts it one way or the other. But I hope that Matt's okay.
Next up, we'll have Jude Papillon of the Tulane Hullabaloo, and we would also like to request questions for the players as well. Thank you.
Congrats on the win, Coach Aranda. Could you reflect on Terrell Bernard's impact on this game?
I think Terrell had one of his best games. I think these last couple games have been, Terrell's been more and more productive. I think the blitzing part of his game has really come on these last couple. I think his confidence in run fits and where people are at, and why something is called, why a defense is called, for what reason, anticipating what play, the weakness of that particular defense, right? All of those things. I think Terrell's is a dude that, when he understands it and has got a grasp of all those things, can really just let loose and play free. And I think I think it's a great example for our younger players, for guys that are for sure are going to have success. I look at next year, maybe in week 1 or week 2, and I imagine they're going to feel as if they've arrived. And here's Terrell that with all this history and all of this accomplishment and all of this championship level play, and he's still striving, man, still working out and grinding to get better. And I think that's the path right there. So way proud of him.
Follow-up for Terrell off that. Terrell, could you give your thoughts on the way the game progressed tonight, and why you were able to be as effective as you were?
Yeah, we were definitely, disappointed for the quarterback going down. I hate to see that for him. But I think, we expected tempo. We got a little bit of that throughout the first half. Definitely towards the end of the game. The running game, our fits were solid. Could have been cleaned up a little bit towards the middle, towards the end of the game. And then, our pass rush and the pressures that Coach Roberts was calling, a lot of them were getting home. So I think causing havoc, and obviously the interceptions and stuff that we got played a big part in the game. But just the D-line causing havoc. Corners and safeties, doing their part, locking up receivers, and then, linebackers running around and making plays because the D-line is taking up multiple blockers. I think it kind of all came full circle towards the end, and I think we had one of our best games this year.
Next, we'll move to Jack Allen of KXXV.
Hey, Abram, I was just wondering, to see Monterey come out and score that touchdown, not a likely hero, what was running through your mind on the offensive side during that play?
I was excited when I seen him when I got done with my fake, I looked over and I see somebody like really small, running full speed. I'm like, I see it in practice. He's been working on that a bunch. So just seeing him do that, and I was just so happy for him. It was his first actual collegiate touchdown, and I remember running full speed to the end zone just to go celebrate with him.
Next up, we'll have John Warner of the Waco Tribune-Herald.
Abram, you set the school record, single season record, 1,600 yards rushing. What do you say about that accomplishment?
All the credit goes to the men up front. Without them, I can't really do anything. So I'm just thankful for them and, Coach Grimes and Coach Mateo's all for the opportunity just to be back in the backfield. So, I give all the credit to everybody up front, man, because without them, I couldn't have done it.
And Abram, you kept banging away. They delivered a pretty tough defensive effort tonight. What was that like for you, just having to grind out that yardage?
Well, in our running back room, one thing that we established was bully ball, and so we kind of just live by that. And, it's going to be a grind, but those 4 yards, 6 yards, they're eventually going to pop for, 20, maybe 40. So for us, we just had that instilled in us from the beginning is that, everything's not going to be perfect and you got to grind it out.
We'll move next to Curtis Quillen, KCEN in Waco.
This question is for all three of you. When you guys came to New Orleans for this game, you said that you guys felt like you had a point to prove in this game. What point do you feel like this win proves from y'all's perspective about your team?
I'll start. So, I appreciate the question. I would not put it as necessarily as a point to prove. I would say it as more of a identity to show, and so not even really like a just to take the stage and to take the lights and the crowd and all of that, and to be like us, all the way, man. All the us that we've worked on since January. I look at these guys academically set the highest GPA for football that Baylor has ever had in both spring and fall semester, back to back, right? And so I was like a 3.2, I think, in spring, and then in fall it was over a 3. It was over 3. I was 3.03, I think. And so, guys that are doing it off the field, and then getting this 12th win that Baylor's never done. So a bunch of never dones at Baylor, and it all of that is with personal choices and doing little things right and adhering to a standard over feelings, and just way proud, and it's just something when you see that you want other people to see it, and I'm appreciative that we had the opportunity, we took advantage of it.
Here we go next. I would just say I feel like it shows the growth of the team. Since the day we got to New Orleans, I think everybody had front sight focus on keeping the main thing, and coming here and winning this game. And like Coach Aranda said, just doing something that Baylor's never done before, winning 12 games. So I couldn't be more proud of the guys. I feel like, these past 2.5, 3 weeks of preparing for this game, we've had some of our best practices and put together a really good plan, and, just really excited to see how we executed and came out here and, did what we were supposed to do.
To kind of piggyback off of that, it's more of not really a point. I think it's for us, it's just playing for one another. We just look at the man to the left and right of us, and we just want to give it our all for each other. So every time we step on the field, that was kind of our thing to go to, and we kind of talked about it every time at halftime. And so you can see us all firing each other up on the sideline. And like Terrell said, these past couple of weeks at practice have been the best weeks that I feel as well that we've had. So I think for us, I'm just way proud of this whole team and how we've and what we've accomplished.
Next, we'll go to Jerry Hill with Baylor Bear Insider.
Hey, Terrell, y'all had that defensive motto of take three. How big was that to get the 3 picks tonight? And then obviously Al's interception return. How big was that for the defense?
Yeah, it's huge, man. It's something we've preached all year. We're able to do it tonight, and then taking one back for a touchdown. Definitely a momentum swing in the game. I think JT's 2 interceptions also, broke the seal on some things, and was able to open some things up for us on the offensive side. So I think it was a huge accomplishment for us to go out there and get that done.
You talked about a legacy. What legacy do you feel like you leave here at Baylor?
I think it goes back to what Coach Aranda said, just doing things the way they're supposed to be done, and not necessarily what you do, but how you do it. I think you can pick out 30, 40 guys on this team that just do things the right way. And, there's probably more that aren't being seen yet, but will be seen later on down the road. And I think that's the cool thing about it. You just keep putting one foot in front of the other, doing what you're supposed to do day in and day out. And, eventually your time will come. And, it's just crazy to see the growth and everything that's happened to get to this point.
We'll move along to Blake Topmeyer with USA Today Network.
Yeah, this question's for Coach Aranda. Dave, did you guys change the defensive approach at all after Matt Corral's injury? And if so, in what ways did you change that?
No, I appreciate the question. We did not. I think, a lot of it was, is it going to be, is he going to be entrusted to make quick reads, or is it going to be looks that maybe he's not getting a ton of reps in practice? So, is it going to be slow down more now? The way the game was going, there was a slow down pace to it anyways, just not a lot of points being put up. And so, are the coaches on the sideline or on the booth, on their side of it, going to take more of a stronger hand of getting people in and out of good plays? So is that going to be the case? And if so, let's be really clean and concise with our plan, with lookovers, or the run game. I thought Terrell mentioned it. There was a drive where we had some pressures called, and guys were getting out of their 111th. We're trying to do too much and getting out of gaps, and that transferred over to when they were throwing the ball and pass rush contain opposite the side of the pressure was coming. And so I think the ability to hone in on the run game when they're trying to be real concise and precise on when they're throwing it and what they're throwing. And then I think the other phase of it was just the tight end staying in the core and some shot plays down the field. And so I think just being aware of those things and just having a real detailed plan and letting it rip from that point, I think is really what the thing was.
We'll move next to Michael Haig from the Baylor Lariat.
Hey, can you take me through the emotions of that big time play when it's one-on-one, you in the corner on the sideline, and you just run over him and set yourselves up for a goal line play?
Well, I kind of saw whenever he kind of just dropped back into coverage that I was going to get the ball because he was playing for Taekwon on that little bang route. So I had to look back, look fast, and as soon as I got it on me, he was out there in front of me, and I don't really put on a lot of moves, but I gave him a little shake, and then I kind of just do what I always do, and lowered my pads and went vertical. So, and then kind of the rest speaks for itself. He slung off me, and I just kept fighting for yards, and then he set up the goal line play.
We'll go back to Eric Kelly from KWKT in Waco.
This one's for Terrell. Terrell, just in terms of kind of knowing the journey that you've gone through here at Baylor, now that you're a Big 12 champ, a Sugar Bowl champ, has it kind of sunk in yet? And secondly, what inspired the Tom Brady moment with the trophy at?
Yeah, I think, just after the game, I kind of sat down and took a minute to really just appreciate the moment and, kind of look back on everything I've been through with my teammates and, the journey that we've all had. And it's been amazing, man. I couldn't say enough good things about Baylor, about the people here. I think that's what, truly makes this place special is the people. And, just after the game, I was just looking out at everybody standing in front of me and just thinking about everybody's story and everybody's journey to get to this point. And I couldn't be more proud of those guys, man. I'm so excited for everything that's come their way and everybody finally getting the opportunity to be seen, like Coach Aranda's been saying, all week. I'm just happy for everybody to finally be in that moment.
Do we have any further questions for Coach Aranda or the players? Gentlemen, thank you for your time and congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You should take that.
Yes, sir.